MLB News back with another video, and in today's video is going to be what trade every MLB team must make this offseason. So if you like this kind of content, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you get notified for every uploaded video. Link to my other channels in the description below. And let's go ahead and get into this video. Let's start off with the Tampa Bay Rays. And for the Rays, it's going to be Keibert Urias, a top prospect for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I think he fits well with this team. I think the Rays have the players that they could give back to the Dodgers for Keibert Urias. Will the Dodgers give him up? That's questionable, but I think they will if the right trade offer comes that they think is reasonable. So, yeah, that's the first trade. Red Sox, Josh Hader. Now, this one's a bit of a crazier one to predict. But Josh Hader could be a realistic move for the Boston Red Sox this offseason. It's kind of unlikely, but it also could happen if the Red Sox are willing to part ways with one of their young players, being with Andrew Benintendi, Rafael Devers, or one of those players. If they're willing to part ways with them, then I think they could get that trade done pretty easily. I think you could get a trade done with one young prospect, probably a starting pitcher, and a good player, maybe Benintendi. I think it's possible, but yeah. Next, Yankees, Lance Lynn. This is a trade that's been rumored for quite a bit, and I think it's a trade that can happen. It's just I think it may not because the Rangers are going to ask for too incredibly much. We saw last year that they were really targeting a third baseman. The Yankees have that with Miguel and Andujar. I think in that trade you've got to get back either Andujar or Frazier, and if you don't get back those two, that's just a rip off of a trade. Very simple. But if they could do, I think it would make sense for both teams. The Rangers are in a rebuilding phase. It seems like for the 20th time. They just don't have the correct pieces to go all in to win a championship. Blue Jays, Kyle Hendricks. Now, this is a trade if the Cubs want to blow it up. If the Cubs want to blow it up, then the Blue Jays are the perfect team. They have good prospects that could definitely be in a trade. I think the Cubs should blow it up. I really do think they should blow it up. Orioles, Josh Bell. This is one that's for the future. They're going to be good in the future, and Josh Bell helps them there. Obviously, they're going to have to develop him well, or it's just not going to work because he was good with the Pirates in 2019, then in 2020 he was terrible. I mean, it's simple. Cleveland, Jose Iglesias. This is a trade that I could definitely see happening. Obviously, Jose Iglesias is not nearly as good as Francisco Lindor, but if you're looking for a okay, serviceable shortstop, then I think Jose Iglesias is a good shortstop. His hitting got a lot better. Before the season, he was pretty much a defensive shortstop, and that was about it. But his hitting got a lot better. White Sox, Joe Musgrove. Joe Musgrove is a player that I thought would get traded to them at the trade deadline, but it didn't happen. I personally think that the White Sox are really going to make their big moves in free agency, not in trades. But Joe Musgrove seems like a good option. Tigers, it's just going to be prospects. Whoever you can get back for some of these players. If you can get a good prospect or an okay prospect back for Matt Boyd, do it. If you can get a good prospect back from Nico Goodrum or Jamar Candelario, whoever it is, trade them. Get them out. Royals, prospects again. The Royals have a really stacked farm system right now, and they need to just keep on building onto that strong farm system that they have. Next, Twins, Josh Hader. This is one that could happen. I mean, I doubt it. The Twins are going to have to give up a good prospect and, someone else. This is a trade that's less likely to happen, but it's a trade that if the Twins are willing to give up some good players, then it could happen. Trash can beggars, once again, Josh Hader. Josh Hader is a player that I think if they had Josh Hader, they probably could have got to the World Series. The lack of relief pitching was really the problem for them, and I think it will be. They waived Roberto Osuna, and he could be a good pickup for a team. Angels, they've got two, Marco Gonzalez or Josh Hader. Marco Gonzalez is a lot more likely, in my opinion. I think they could make some good moves in free agency. Some cheap options that could perform well for them. They already have their number one, I feel like, in Dylan Bundy. Marco Gonzalez could be a good number two. The Josh Hader trade probably won't happen unless you're giving up Joe Adele, which I don't think they're doing. Mariners, prospects. They have a really good farm system, so you want to get a lot of prospects back, and that's going to be you're going to have to give up Marco Gonzalez, Kyle Seager, just get some prospects back. Rangers, prospects. Yeah, I mean prospects. They're in a rebuilding phase. It makes sense. Yeah, Rangers should be getting prospects. Their farm system is pretty good. But I think they could get a couple more prospects back, like in a Lance Lynn trade or some others. A's, Matthew Boyd. This one I think is very realistic. I don't think they would have to give up much to get him, and I think he'd be a good starting pitcher for them. But yeah, I think it's a reasonable trade. Braves, Nolan Arenado. Now this one is a little more crazy. It's Nolan Arenado or Chris Bryant. I think a third baseman is a very big need. I mean, if you look at that top four, if you can manage to re-sign Ozuna, then you've got a top four of Cunha, Freeman, Ozuna, and Arenado or Bryant, and that's really good. Phillies, Lance Lynn. I feel like this is pretty obvious. He's going to be the number one, I would say. Number two is Aaron Nola or Zach Wheeler. So that's a pretty good top three. You've got to get the 4 and 5. That's the problem. Marlins, JD Martinez. I feel like this is a Marlins move. I feel like this is a trade that could get done too, because they have a lot of young pitching prospects that could go to the Marlins. They've got a lot of prospects back in the trades with Stan, Realmuto, and others. So yeah. Mets, Francisco Lindor. I feel like this was kind of obvious with the new owner. They're going to try to go to the World Series at least next year. They have the right pieces. They've just got to spend money. Nationals, Josh Hader. I feel like this is obvious. Even in the year that they won the World Series, they did not have great relief pitching. And I think this is a perfect move. And could they get it done? That's questionable. They have one of the worst farm systems in all of baseball. So that is a problem with this trade. Cardinals, Chris Bryant. I feel like this is a trade that could get done. There were rumors about Nolan Arenado instead of Chris Bryant, and I think this is a trade that would make sense. Obviously, Chris Bryant is not nearly as good. But yeah. Cubs, Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn, I feel like is a pretty obvious choice for this team. Pirates, prospects, not much to say here. Get more prospects. Yeah. Brewers, Lance Lynn, this is a trade that I think will not get done because the Brewers farm system's just terrible. But yeah, it's possible. Reds, Francisco Lindor. Francisco Lindor is a trade that I think could happen. I think it's very possible. And I mean, I think it makes sense for both sides. Dodgers, Francisco Lindor. Again, not much to say here. If they can afford him and if they can give the prospects back, then they should do that in a second. Diamondbacks, prospects. Now, this one, if you asked me 1 year ago, then I would have said no. But it makes a lot of sense now. Giants, prospects. Padres, Andrew Benintendi. I think if he's available, the Padres should try to get him. And our final one is the Colorado Rockies, Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn should not want to go there, and simple. But that's going to be the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you get notified whenever I upload a video. Link to my other channels in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll